Recently, it was reported that actor Matthew Perry died from an overdose of ketamine, an anesthetic that's been around for decades. But while a powerful drug, there are new, potentially positive uses for ketamine. And Dr. Bill Langley is here to help us learn more about it. Thanks for coming in.
Sure.
All right, so give us a little bit of background. We mentioned that it's been around for decades. What was the original purpose of ketamine?
It's used for induction of anesthesia, or in certain procedures, all the anesthesia. It's a remarkable drug in that it leaves you kind of, your memory is faulty, or you get amnesia, which is often a good thing after a procedure. And it mostly is very safe in the hands of an anesthesiologist who is at the bedside with an oxygen monitor. So all of those things are taken for granted if you're in anesthesiology.
Yeah, now in recent years there's been different uses for ketamine.
Oh, that's for sure. Like many new uses for drugs, it came about because people who had a routine anesthetic would say, I've been so depressed and now I have a much better outlook on life after this procedure. So that is how science evolves, and now it is known upon multiple studies that it's actually pretty good. It's slightly better than electroconvulsive therapy, which is a very strong treatment, of course, and it works very quickly, unlike the drugs that we have counted on all these years, which often take 6 weeks to kick in.
For treating depression.
Depression, exactly.
Yeah. It also can be used to treat chronic pain?
That's really off-label.
Okay.
The technical term, it's not approved right now by the FDA. It's likely to be. It's under their study. But other things like anxiety and even drug addiction is really stretching it. It's known to be beneficial for the major symptoms of major depression.
Let's talk a little bit, though, about Matthew Perry's case, because there are 5 people facing charges in connection with his death. So is it legal to use ketamine?
Yeah, it's so complicated. The DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, puts drugs into categories of their potential for causing real harm. It's a Schedule III, which any doctor can prescribe. The FDA does not, in their opinion, feel it's useful for depression, so you're a little bit out on the limb as a doctor prescribing it off-label. But if you're negligent and you continue to give drugs to somebody who's already intoxicated, these laws are not going to protect you. That's the jeopardy of having a doctor who's got questionable ethics.
We also have a ketamine clinic in the Quad Cities. So how does that work?
Well, it's not wrong to prescribe things off-label. In fact, all doctors do it quite frequently because the FDA can be 10 or 15 years behind in their approvals. So a clinic could be based on a use that's off-label. But if it's very well run and has highly ethical practitioners who sit at the bedside, maybe they're psychiatrists, maybe they're anesthesiologists, they can administer the drug very safely.
Yeah, as long as they're health professionals.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you see the FDA going ahead and making changes when it comes to ketamine?
Yes, I do. I just checked, and they convened a big forum in June. So those things often take 6 to 12 months, but it's unlikely they would go to that extent with some positive research already in the bag and not approve it, at least temporarily.
For treating depression.
Yes, right. It's well known to work very well for anesthesiology.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Bill Langley, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Still ahead, the man